Welcome back to Beelzebub the Jag. If you saw the previous video, you'd have seen me sort of doing a rough sort of template of the sill profile. I've taken that from the front of the sill, even though it's sort of the back end of the sill I need to repair. Because the back end's been messed about with, it's lost the profile. And it was easy enough. It's just an old cornflakes type packet. And so this is the bit that's sort of seen from, you can see all of this from the pavement. But that flat bit there and this lip is not really seen. That's sort of tucked right underneath. But it's the flat bit and just that curve there. That's where the holes are. It's full of holes here, and just a little tiny bit into the curve. It's not really. It looks catastrophic, but it's really not that serious. The original curve is largely survived. You probably saw me complaining that whoever had, well, I do know, it's the garage I use. They're fine. It's a good cheap garage for doing basic work, but you don't want them welding your car. But I needed to get the car welded for its MOT. I bought it a year ago without an MOT, and I knew that it had perforated. It had holes here. The seller was horrified, because when he looked at the car, it looked perfect because it had rusted from the inside out. Somebody's blocked up the drain holes and the sills had rusted from the inside. So when the MOT inspector started stabbing about, he stabbed straight through the paint and it just went into holes. And if you saw the previous film, there were more holes. This car passed its MOT a week ago, but to be fair, the guy didn't stab about too much. But when I started stabbing the shiny paintwork, this scriber just went straight through. So I need to do a weld which is around about 1 metre long, and it will be about 1 metre of a flat with a slight curve. I certainly won't be bringing the whole curve into it, but I'm going to come back. I'm going to trace that onto the steel in a minute. But I just want to explain the tin snips. There are different types. There are right-handed tin snips, left-handed tin snips, curved and straight. Now let me explain. For those of you that are familiar, forgive me. When you've scored onto the metal, you score with a scriber. You score the piece of work, and you need to trim off the excess. Now, what you don't want to be doing is buckling with the tin snips, the piece that you're trying to keep. It's fine when you use the snips, a piece will curl off and it curls up like a corkscrew. But you don't want the piece that you're trying to keep. You don't want that to sort of curl up. So let me just turn. I'll just pull this. I'll pull the metal along, and I'll just turn the camera so I can sort of explain. These are a right-handed snip. When I cut, you keep this bit. You keep this flat against the work. If I've got, let's just scribe a neat line. There we go. Just the one line. Yeah, that does show up. And I'll deliberately cut it with the wrong. I'll start the cut with the wrong snips. These are the left-handed snips, and these are going to make an absolute mess of this job. What the left-handed snips will do, I need the left-hand side of the work to remain unbuckled, and what I want is that side to sort of curl up. These are the left-handed snips. These are the wrong ones. If I put the cutting edge into that scribe line, what it will do, it will attempt to make this side curl up, and it will just buckle, and it won't be able to curl up this amount. It's simply too much for it, but it will attempt to do that. Let me just try, and it will be awfully difficult. It's attempting to push that side up, but it just can't do it, and it's making a mess. So it's forcing that down. So if I use the other snips, they look the same, but one cuts to the left and one cuts to the right, and it brings the waste. So let's just push the waste back up. Let's go in with the correct snips, and if I just, it will be difficult to get this to start because it's already bent, and it shouldn't be. If I'd have started with the correct snips, I'd get a really nice straight line. Here we go. Can you see what's happening now? It's the flat edge here, the cutting edge is following that scribe line, and it's curling up the waist. Look, you see that? It's curling up here. and it's keeping very flat the line I'm trying to keep. So yeah, there we go. There we go. Let's just stop there. We've got a nice sort of curl, and we've got a reasonably straight and clean edge to cut to. If you only have one set of snips, you can turn them upside down. So if I've got the wrong snips, which I tried to use, these are the left-handed snips. It brings the waist on the left-hand side. You can turn them over upside down. They're quite awkward to use upside down, but I'd have to come at it the other way, yeah, from the other side, and that would work okay. Let me just try and, here we go, look. I'm stretching for the camera. I'm using them upside down and the opposite way, and that's bringing the waist the right way. So that's using a pair of left-handed snips upside down to do a right-handed cut. So it is, you know, straight ones are fine, but trying to do a really long, clean line, you do need the waist to go somewhere. And straight snips like these, excuse the wind, it is enormously windy, you've got nowhere for the waist to go. So to be truthful, I very, very rarely use those, and very rarely use curved snips as well. You know, they are what they are. You can use them to the left or to the right. I generally use left-handed and right-handed snips, but you really do have to get it the right way around. Now, let's just get the camera set back to where it was. There we go. I need to make a piece about 700 or 800 millimeters long, and I need it clean. You know, I need a clean edge. Let's have a look. Let's just scribe this, and I'm going to. Oh, what a mess! I've done that wrong. There we go. There we go. Scribe isn't. No wonder the scribe's blunt. That's it's not helping. So I want to cut off this. So which ones do I use? Not those. They're the left. These are the right-handed snips. So let's just. I need a piece up to. There we go. Can you see what's happening here? The waist is curling. It's curling over quite nicely on the right-hand side, so I can keep clean to this scribe line here. I need a piece that will be long enough, wide enough, without all of the rough edges, and I need it to be about 750 mil long, and then I'll put that curve in. So I'm just going to I'm going to continue and cut this. I don't think I'll do it all on camera because it's quite tedious to watch, but I thought I'd explain the importance of left-handed and right-handed snips. So I'll have to give this a bit of help. There we go. Make sure I don't cut through the wire. There we go. There we go. But my piece of work, when I call it the work, this is the piece I want to keep. This is staying nice and flat, and the waist is all curling up, and it's curling up. It's absolutely no problem at all. It's quite fine for the waist to sort of curl up out of the way. What you don't want is your patch, the piece you're intending to weld onto the car. You don't want that bending up because you've only got to straighten it again. And working in the street like I am here with virtually no facilities, it's a bit of a nuisance trying to get it straight again. Come on, there we go. Give that a bit of help. So I'll do the cut quite long, all the way along, about 700 mil with the right-handed snips. Then I'll mark out again, put another scribe. Then I'll have to use the other snips, the left-handed snips, because I want this to curl up as the waist, this side. I don't want this piece. This is going to be formed into a new sill. I do not want that to bend. So it's quite a lot of wastage, but never mind. I've got a lot of steel, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm not going to continue because I'm risking cutting into the wire, and this is getting rather long. But you get the idea, and it is very, very important to have left-handed and right-handed snips. So yeah. I'm not going to film anymore. It's getting a little bit clumsy. I'm struggling to work to camera.